well, we'll get started. So yesterday, it was yesterday, right? My sense of time is all thrown off. We covered Brinstar and the moat. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about wrecked ship. We're not going to go too in depth with Phantoon. But yeah. So obviously this first hallway, you just want to arm pump. Once you're passing these bugs here, this third set of bugs, that's when you can shoot. You'll open the door. You want to jump through the door. Make sure you shoot straight. Pretty basic. Thing about this room, you want to spend as little time on these stairs as possible. And the reason for that is because slopes slow Samus down. So you want to jump pretty quickly after landing. You just kind of want to hug the corners. Do these short hops all the way down. Hey, John. This part right here, there's a couple different ways to handle it, so I'll go over that. You can do a down back. You can run off and do a down back like that. Okay, or you can jump off and shoot them that way. I know that a real cutie posted a thing the other day about doing this. Technically the jump off is a little faster than the down back, but most people consider it way harder, and I tend to agree with that. But I don't know. Cutie was saying that this is easier for him, so maybe it'll be easier for you too. Worth looking into. Once you get down into this little space right here, you want to crouch and shoot twice. Okay. And then it's blind, so you can't see it, but there's this little dip right here. So you want to get down into this dip. Now there's a couple ways you can handle this too. Most people, including me, will opt to roll over here and do an angle down shot. As long as you're on the right side, that will work. But if you're not quite far right enough, then you might not hit it doing that. Because what's happening is your shot, Samus's shot, is clipping with the corner there, that block. You can also turn around before landing, like this. And that can theoretically save a couple frames since you don't have to deal with the turnaround animation. The problem is you're more likely to land too far to the left there and not be able to shoot it out that way. I was doing the turnaround pre-land for a while. Yeah, Cutie was mentioning that. I see. Yeah, I was doing the turnaround pre-morph for a while. I know that Zos does that. But one time I decided to time it, and for me, I couldn't actually get it to save any time when I was timing it that time more recently. So there's a 1233. 1231. So I mean, it might save you a couple frames, but it's really hard. It's really hard to do it optimally and have it actually save time. And if you screw it up, then that really sucks. Some people opt to do like a bomb and then like a down back or something. I think that's what Behemoth has started doing. Yeah, like that. So you can bomb basically just after this pipe, just a little bit after. And then basically what you do is you just wait, you unmorph, and you do a down back shot. But it's pretty hard. He only shoots one block. Oh, that makes sense. How does that work, cutie? Oh, okay, so like this? Like over further to the right? Okay. Interesting. So yeah. That's another strat option. I'm apparently not not able to do it. Yeah, because he wouldn't be able to angle down there. That makes sense. Another thing you can do, if you have full missiles, you can unmorph right here on the edge, on the left edge, and you can do an angle down missile. Problem with that is it is blind, so it's kind of hard to tell if you're in the right spot. But if you are, the missile will, it'll hit that block there. You can't do that with your beam because it hits the wall. You can do that. And that actually, it is the fastest strat that I've found. The problem is that it's hard to make it consistent. So that's like 20 frames faster than what I was getting before. But you're burning a missile, and you need missiles for Phantoon. And if you miss, then that just sucks. So, but yeah, this is a little complicated section here. So yeah, what I do, I just roll over, turn around, oops, angle down shot, and get through the door. This door actually is kind of a pain too, so we can talk about this. So you want to jump early here, but not so early that you have enough downward momentum to bonk the door here. Kojacting here is bad too. You definitely don't want to hit a missile like that, because right now we only have 2 supers. So now we only have 1, right? So now we get through the door, and we don't have supers for the eye door anymore. That's not something you have to worry about if you farm both cacks on the way up Red Tower to the elevator. But yeah, you do want to shoot the super early enough that it opens the door in a way that you don't bonk. And also you want to make sure that you're getting through this door on the left side. For reasons that are made apparent in the next room. Okay. You also can like run off and do like a wiggle. Something I was doing for a while is that sort of a thing, where I'd like jump really early and then like try to slow my momentum and do a wiggle down. But really it's best if you just run down the stairs a little bit and then jump, shoot down, do a right left turn to make sure that you don't land over here, because that's gonna happen if you don't turn around a lot of the time. Get through the door. Again, you want to get through on the left. You can tap down to kill momentum enough where you don't have to kill momentum if you run off. Oh yeah. So like, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Also, if you can turn around before the door, or start your turnaround before the door, it's worth doing, but it's not super important. So in this room, like I was saying, you want to be further left. Okay. And the reason for that is being far left enough means that we can actually comfortably clear this robot and get a Mach ball, which you definitely want. Okay. If you land like further to the right here and you try and do it, a lot of the time you're gonna bonk. So just be aware of that. I feel like I'm forgetting something. If you do end up like really far to the right, you can technically do a KO through this robot. So yeah, I don't know if that was it or not, but you will end up bouncing if you do that anyway. So it is better to just be a little bit farther left. Mach ball, bomb this block right here. And then you want to shoot the eye door. I should have had more supers. Did I have to blow a super somewhere? I probably did when I was setting up this ROM. So normally you'd end up here with, you know, X amount of missiles and 1 super. If you farmed 1 CAC on the way up Red Tower, you'll usually have 1 power bomb. So, yeah. Like I said, we're not going to go super in-depth into Phantoon today. I'm going to do that separately. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or, you know, later on sometime. It'll probably be tomorrow if I have time, but I will cover some basics here, at least, so. So the main thing with Phantoon, in terms of, like, not worrying so much about going fast, you want to stay alive, right? And that means dealing with his flames and making sure that you don't bonk him as much as possible too. But really, like, if you just stand to the side and you shoot, you're usually going to be able to deal with most of the flames. And a lot of the time they'll drop like health and missiles for you to pick up too. One thing that I will mention about going quote-unquote fast with Phantoon is that every time he appears, you want to shoot him with 2 missiles and then 2 more after a short pause. And then do your Doppler. If you do get into critical, try not to panic about it too much, because that means that flames are guaranteed to drop health for you, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to survive either. It's a hard fight, really. It's kind of what it comes down to. But yeah, in terms of dealing with the flames, honestly, it just kind of comes down to experience. Another thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you're always at least 1 missile short. Oops. Because that way, as you're shooting the flames, more missiles will spawn, which is important for this fight. Because you don't want to run out of missiles. So I had 15, so I shot 1 to get 14 there. Man, I'm so out of practice with this. I'm trying to think of like any other basic like Phantoon survival stuff for PRKD. Both Phantoon and the Flames do 40 damage. I think I already mentioned that they do the same amount of damage, but they do 40. So right now I can take 4 hits and be alive. The more that you fight Phantoon, the more you're going to be able to identify flame patterns in terms of like the rate and the placement of his flames. You want over 100 health coming in here. That's something that I'll say for sure. If you have less than 100, it's not the end of the world. But especially if you're like kind of a novice to the category, it's gonna make it a lot harder to survive the fight. And yeah, other than that, really, it's just kind of memorizing Phantoon patterns and knowing like where to stand and stuff. And that's all stuff that I'd rather go over in like a focused Phantoon tutorial video thing, so. Man, I am super out of practice with this. If at all possible, you do want to avoid a health bomb at the end of this fight, because you need as many resources finishing and leaving wreck ship as you can get. So like here we have 3 supers. That was good, but 4 or 5 supers is definitely better. 10 plus missiles is good, but full is best. And you do want at least 3 power bombs for reasons that come up later in the route. So I timed my jump to lay this bomb. I wasn't really paying attention, but I timed the jump and then lay the bomb at the bottom of the door just as Phantoon is disappearing. So like when he's doing his little wavy thing, I'll do like a full jump and then place a bomb at the bottom of the door. That will open the door, then we can get through. So also health is important here. Ideally I should have had full health leaving, but I didn't, so. Okay, so you want, here, we'll just do this. There. You want as much running speed as you can get coming out of this room, and then you want to do kind of a higher jump out the door. You want to aim down so that you're ready to do the Mach ball here. Just hold jump. Samus won't lose momentum. If you release jump, she will. Okay, so make sure you're holding jump when you come out of the door. Do a Mach ball and place this bomb. You can place it a little bit early and it will still break it, and that'll save you a couple frames. But don't worry about it too much, obviously. Something I haven't mentioned, if you roll away from a block that you're bombing and then you roll into it as the block is breaking, that will also save a little bit of time, because Samus has already reached her max rolling speed in that case, whereas if you just wait, first of all, the bomb is going to bounce Samus up, which costs you a frame or two, and then her rolling speed resets. I think, yeah, there's like a little teeny bit of a build up to the rolling speed. Not quite as much as the running speed, but if you ever see runners do like this sort of thing where they'll place a bomb, roll away, and then roll into it, that's why. After you place this bomb, you want to select power bombs. Jump over the robot, open the door. I actually do a strat here that I came up with pretty recently that I haven't seen anybody else do, so we'll talk about that. Oops. Okay, so you want power bombs selected here. And what I do, first of all, if you just jump through this door like this, you're gonna get a terrible transition. Okay, so the way to avoid that is to kind of swing back to the right while you're going through the door. But you also don't want to swing all the way to the right, because you can't make it up on the right side. You don't jump high enough to make it up with a wall jump right here. So you have to get over on the left side, but when you come through the right side of the door, the left side's super far away like that, right? So what a lot of people will do is like try to go through the middle of the door, but swing right and then do this sort of a thing. like I said, we do want power bombs equipped here. So the reason for that is that people use power bombs to break these blocks up here, like this. Okay. Now, here's the thing that I found when I was going over this when I was doing the splice. First of all, if you do a wall jump off this right side here, and you manipulate the camera scroll enough in the right way, you can still get a pretty good door transition where you're not really losing much time, if any at all. And if you do your wall jump far enough away from the wall or low enough on the wall, you're not going to bonk this right here, and you can make it all the way up without having to do another wall jump. Now, the best part about this is that in this scenario, you can do a morph coming out of the room and immediately place your power bomb, which gives you more of an opportunity to prepare and jump up here without waiting for the power bomb to explode. In addition to that, something else that I found, I'm obviously just rushing this, but when the power bomb is higher, you're getting a lot more lag. When it detonates higher, you're getting a lot more lag. So here, I'll just see if I can demonstrate this. That was 28 lag frames. .25 lag frames. If you do it lower, I think just by default it's lower, less lag frames. Okay, so that's 22. So lower power bomb gives you less lag frames, but also if you do a hop up here after laying the bomb, so you just kind of jump up there, it scrolls the camera up just enough that you reduce lag even more. So that was 14 lag frames. My camera's in the way still. 14 lag frames. So just by placing the power bomb lower, we're saving upwards of 10 lag frames here. We're also laying it earlier so that we can jump up earlier and saving a bunch of time in general. So yeah, that was a 432 room. I think we can push it even farther. Need to remember to jump up here. I think... Yeah, that's right. You can shoot twice there. That's what it was. So shoot both those blocks. That allows you to jump up earlier. It's a 425 room. Whereas if you were laying the power bomb higher, 512, kind of screwed that up, but you can save like half a second or more, basically. So that's my strat for this room. There might be a better one, but I like it. Alright, so now we're coming into this door on the left here. There are two different ways you can do this room. You can run in, aim down, and then jump up and grab the super. Or you can just do a jump across and grab the super. If you don't aim down, you're going to bonk this spark here, so you definitely want to aim down if you're running off. And if you're jumping across, you don't want to do a full jump, or you're going to bonk that spark. Okay? So they both have their risks. The jump across is faster, the aim down is easier. Just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with. If you are going to do the jump across, then from the previous room, you want to make sure that you're starting more to the left or more to the right. So you want to be further to the right on this ledge here. So you don't, when you jump up here, you don't want to like jump all the way over here and then go through the door, because that makes the jump a lot harder to do. After you collect the super, well, when collecting the super, if you're coming in here with full health, you want to open the door and then grab the super. Okay. You can also collect the super and then open the door, but I find that a little harder. Because if you open the door first, then coming out of this item acquisition, basically you just hold jump. Samus is going to bonk that spark automatically. And then you just boost off of it. If you grab the super first, you have to turn around and then jump and do the boost, and that's a little bit harder. So again, open the door, hold jump, hit the spark, boost out. Pretty basic room. Yeah, if you're too slow, you'll miss the spark. You'll sort of get a feel after a while for whether you were too slow or not. Kind of surprised that worked. Yeah. If you don't have enough health, I'd say if you have 180 health or more, you can do the boost, but if you don't have that much, it's probably better to just forego it. In that case, you just want to do a short jump over here and then jump out and jump through the door. The reason you're jumping through the door is so that you can get up on this ledge quickly. Okay. So coming out of this room with the damage boost, you want to keep holding jump. So I just holding jump here the whole time. Samus will automatically land like this when she comes out of the door, and then you can just push right and she'll do a spin jump up. Okay, so you don't need to like turn around and then jump up, or like jump and then turn, or like, you know, worry about like weird stuff. Just hold jump, push right, she'll automatically do a buffer jump up. Now, honestly, probably the best thing about PRKD... Oh, by the way, don't continue holding right here. Coming out of the door, just hold jump. If you keep holding right, Samus will turn around and then that buffer won't work. Anyway, okay, so probably the best thing about PRKD, to be honest, is this room. And you're wondering why. Well, navigating this room without high jump is a million times easier than navigating it with high jump. So just be aware of that. These jumps are a little bit high. A few of them are a little bit high, so, you know, like you can't even make this jump without doing a wall jump. Or, I mean, can you do a down grab? No. You can probably do a crouch jump. Yeah, you can do a crouch jump down grab there, but most of these are just so much more comfortable without high jump. So it is a fast room. Like there's a lot going on and it's kind of hard to do it fast. But once you get a feel for it, it's actually like it's really enjoyable to do. So I guess I'll just explain how I do all of these, and I'll do that with, you know, the caveat that these are my strats. They might not work best for you. They're what got me the best results. So I ledge grab here, and then I do a down grab on this one. You can make this one without doing the down grab, but the down grab will let you get up faster. I used to do a wall jump here, but the wall jump was a little slower than the down grab. I do a wall jump here. Okay, and then you just do a spin jump, ledge grab on the one after that. Also, you want to arm pump on pretty much all of these because they're all stairs. And like I explained before, stairs are slopes. Slopes slow Samus down, okay? Up top, there are two atomics that are going to get in your way if you're not fast, so I'll talk about that. But right here, that ball strat is something that I saw Behemoth do, and I wasn't sure if it was faster, and then I saw Zos checking it, so I figured I'd check it as well. And it did end up being faster than the wall jump, which is what I was doing before, and I'll show that too. So here's the wall jump strat that we were doing. And then again, here's the ball strat. Now, if you need to farm one of those atomics, you can. And there are a couple ways you can do that too. I actually saw on Discord earlier about farming one of them, so we can talk about that. If you know that you are going to need to farm one, you want to select supers to do that preemptively. What I used to do is that sort of thing. When you do that, you have to wait to pick up the drop. Generally, you would want to farm here if you're low on health, not for any other reason. Okay. The other farm strat that was posted in Discord, I've never done it before, so we're just gonna wing it. Okay. Yeah, looks like you can just jump up. Like, you don't have to do a wall jump. Man, I can't do this. Basically, you just shoot it and then keep going up. One thing that is... It's pretty important in terms of optimizing this room, but I never really got to the point where I was doing it very well. We're gonna make a save state up here. Right here, I guess. So, you want to shoot this block. Yeah, okay. You want to shoot that block before you get up to it. Farm strat screwed me up. And you can do that from the bottom of the stairs, more or less. And what that does is it makes it so that you only have to shoot twice when you get into this kind of awkward spot right here, where you have to jump up. It's a one-tile gap, right? And any one-tile gap is going to be hard to jump through. So the less you have to spend time positioning and getting ready to jump through this gap when you're actually up there, the better. Not only because it's faster, but it's also less awkward. So if you can, be better than me and get in the habit of shooting that block while you're running up the stairs. Then get to the top, shoot twice. You can do your second shot as you're jumping up. And then we'll talk about this clip. Don't take too long here, or else you're gonna get bonked by the atomics. They do 40 damage each hit, which is really bad. So, all right, let's just kill them, get them out of the way. Okay. So, okay. So you shoot the block, right? And you get up here, and then you shoot this corner out, and you're like, okay, how do people do this clip? There are two ways to do it that I'm aware of. One of them is easier for me. The other one is easier for some other people. The way that I do it, hold R, do a spin jump to the left, okay? You don't want to hold left the entire time, or else Samus is going to land in this position where, see how, like, she doesn't look weird at all right now, right? She just looks like she's in this gap, okay? Where if you let go of left, see how her foot is like kind of down there in the in these blocks right here? That's how you know that you got stuck in the right position to begin with, okay? But then you try and jump and she doesn't get through. And you're like, what the heck? Why isn't this working? Well, it's because you need to repress left or forward in this situation. So basically, just spin jump left and just do a tap, basically, where you just like release and then immediately repress left, and then you jump. Or I'm not letting go of left, I'm letting go of jump. That's right. So, but you can let go of left if that's easier for you. The main thing is just make sure that you're not holding left and jump the entire time. You want to kind of stop. So that she gets stuck. Now there is one other variation to this. JRP actually tried to argue with me about it when he was streaming this category one time, and I was like, dude, I'm just trying to help. Yeah, so if you release R and then hold forward and jump, why is that working? Well, the main thing is if you release R, you can jump without holding forward. But that involves like timing your R press. The easiest thing to do here, hold R, do a short spin jump in here. Don't hold jump the whole time. Repress jump. You'll automatically get through the ceiling. Okay, that's the TLDR here. Maybe someday I'll remember what the other weird nuance to it was. Yeah, you do, cutie, and the reason for that is because if you're holding an angle and then yeah, and well, I don't know, man. I don't know. This game's stupid. Stop playing this game forever, okay? It's dumb. Okay, you have two options going up after this clip, so we're gonna talk about that. Okay, you can go up the right side and do a bunch more jumps and ledge grabs. Cutie, I think you said that you're gonna switch to this, right? This is theoretically faster. It's faster for tasks. Slower for me. What a lot of people do is they'll wall jump up to the left side, do a down grab there, and then go through. 50, 57. 50, 57. So yeah, I mean, they're more or less the same. Just kind of do whatever is faster for you is kind of what it comes down to. Kind of like the Big Pink with the Mach ball versus the arm pumps. Just do what's faster and more consistent for you, and you're good. The more important part here. No, yeah, War. So the reason, and Cutie's explaining this, but you have to come through the door running to the right from the left side. So if you go up the right side, you still have to run all the way to the left of the platform and then go back. In PRKD War, as far as I know, there are no other side attic strats. Okay, so attic. We're almost done. We're almost done with wreck ship, guys. You want a running jump into this room. You don't want to be too far to the right here, or it's going to make not bonking this guy harder. Why is that so easy? Shouldn't be that easy. I guess you can be as far right as you want. But you for sure don't want to be too far left, or else it's going to make it really hard to get under him without getting bonked like that. Okay, so you want to be more to the right. You want to have more run speed, and you want to have power bombs equipped. Those are the main things. Oh well yeah, but I guess yeah, that's worth explaining. Oops, we're screwed. Okay. So make sure you have power bombs equipped here. Make sure that you have good run speed. Jump into the room. Okay. After that, after the door transition, you want to release everything but down. And then once Samus loads in and you see her aiming down, you can repress jump. And that will give you a chance to get a Mach Ball. If you're not holding jump when you release down after holding it, Samus is going to lose all of her momentum. And then the Morph Ball will just fall kind of straight down. And you're a lot more likely to get smashed by this guy. So it's important that before you release down, you repress jump. That will help, that will allow Samus to maintain her momentum so that she makes it under the dude. Okay. The benefit to holding down here as well is that it allows you to morph earlier, which allows you to get the power bomb laid earlier. But if you hold jump too early, then you're going to keep raising and you'll hit these sparks and it will be bad. Everything sucks. So don't do that, okay? You also want to morph pretty much as early as possible. And depending on your position, that might make it impossible to get a Mach Ball, and that's okay as long as you still make it under the dude without getting stepped on or hopped on or whatever, okay? The reason we want to place this power bomb as early as possible, and actually probably why it's important that we don't come through on the far right of the door now that I think about it. Power bombs do 2 separate hits. So you'll see this guy flash once, and then again, and he doesn't flash again, but he doesn't die immediately, right? He dies after a prolonged period, and that's because he's getting hit a second time. If the power bomb is too far to the right, this guy is going to die, but the one over here on the left might not. That was an issue that I was running into in Hundo. Whoa, he jumped like super far to the right that time. Anyway, so you do want it to be further to the left. Also, another reason that it's important to have it further to the left is because if it's too far to the right, the timing for these flashes will be off, and you might bonk that guy on the left. Let me see if I can show that, because it's happened to me in runs more recently. So here's the strat. You lay a power bomb, and then you want to stop kind of on the right side of this like computer display weird thing in the background. Cutie uses the lines on the floor. I use this thing in the back, but it looks like that roughly lines up with this line right here. That's generally where you want to stop, and you want to be stopped and shoot the missile. Okay, if you're not stopped and you shoot the missile, you're gonna peg that key hunter. You don't want that. So stop, then shoot your missile. Immediately turn around and arm pump. You want to arm pump to the left as fast as possible. Okay. Okay, so stop, shoot the atomic with the missile. Okay, arm pump to the left. Once you reach this pole right here, if you're shooting supers, that's when you can shoot your super. Okay, and it'll hit the atomic there, as long as you're angling up. We're gonna go over the super strat first, because it's a lot easier. Okay, so super this guy, short jump, super that guy. I don't think I actually have a Q for the second guy. No, I just kind of eyeball it before I know that I need to jump over the next thing. All right, and then if you're fast enough, you can shoot a third super, and it will connect with both the key hunter and the atomic right there. There we go. If you do it in the right position and you're fast enough, you can hit both the key hunter and the atomic with the super. And the benefit to that is that then you only have to use one missile to kill that key hunter instead of a missile and a super and a second super. But yeah, if you do miss it, the strat will be to kill it with a missile and a super. Gosh dang it, dude. No. This is bad. This is really bad. Okay. So that's how you do that if you can't hit both of them with the super. Now notice we used 4 super missiles for that strat, and super missiles are actually a really valuable commodity in this category. Like enough that we would end up farming specifically for them on our way down Red Tower if we don't have enough coming out of here. Now we have a genius among us in this chat who's come up with a lot of really swag X Factor strats, and he also came up with a missile strat for this, so we're gonna go over that. So you can save supers if you just use missiles here, if I can remember how that works. Okay, so you still want to shoot your first missile kind of in the same spot, and then you want to jump and do an angled missile, and then when you're underneath the atomic you want to do an upward missile and do the same thing for that next one. And if you do it fast enough, you can still get that double super hit. It is a little harder, but it's totally worth it. And if you happen to fail it, that's fine, because gosh dang it. You're still not using as many supers as you were before. And missiles are a lot easier to come by. You'll kind of get a feel for it eventually. It just comes down to like figuring out where you can save frames. Another thing that's like, it's really hard for me in this room specifically. Depending on your control scheme, it might be hard to shoot and jump and hold dash all at the same time. And so you have to figure out like where to prioritize what, right? So that can be kind of hard. But I just want to get this at least once, show that it's a thing that can be done. And then I'll show the spark boost, and then we'll move on from Attic. I was getting to the point near the end of my most recent grind where I was getting this quite a bit, and I'm not sure what I was doing differently. But it was obviously something. I think maybe I'm shooting my missiles earlier, or I was shooting them earlier. You definitely want as much run speed as you can get. Also, I think I remember you wanted to shoot the super earlier with this strat than you do with the other one, that last super. And if you don't make it far enough right over there, then that key hunter won't swoop. So that's why that's part of why the positioning is important there. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. In runs, QD still supers the first and the missiles the second. Yeah, and that is something like, if I'm feeling like not very confident, or if I have like full supers here, sometimes I'll do that where QD's saying he'll super this one and then missile this one. Like that. It's a lot easier and it still saves you saves you a super. There we go. So that's a 920 room. Oh right, okay, so there's a strat where you use a spark that drops down here sometimes to deboost. You can use that to get a damage boost and just run straight through this instead of jumping over it. It drops down most of the time, to be honest. But the main benefit there is speed. I was maining this for a while, and when I did, I was getting sub 9s. So it can save like 30 frames if you do it right, which is nice, but having the extra supers is definitely more nice. So that's why people opt to save the supers instead. Oh, by the way, just in case you didn't know, you do have to kill everything in this room, because if it wasn't made apparent a few minutes ago, the doors are locked until you do. So, all right. Coming out of this room, the strat that I do, at the bottom of this corner, or just before the bottom of the corner, I do a short hop, aim down, and then morph. And you can get a speedy ball through this gap. It looks really hard, and it used to feel really hard to me, but honestly, it's not that bad. And this is, I mean, it's the fastest thing I've done, at least. It does kind of suck if you bonk like that, because then you lose all your momentum, or if you land, that sucks too. So some people will opt to just do like a short hop through here, or like this. But yeah, I find this morph to be worth it. Just make sure that you you unmorph as you're landing below, right here, and then jump across. You don't want to bounce, and you don't want to unmorph early, or that will makes it take longer for Samus to land. Anyway, after you jump across the gap, you want to do a Mach ball, and then this is something that you just sort of get a feel for over time. Something that I really struggled with for a while. But you want to come down here, and then there's a block right here. You want to jump, aim down, and shoot it out. You don't need to bomb it, you can just shoot it. This hole sucks, man. And you morph down through it, and then you roll to the right. And you know what? Sometimes you're just gonna miss it, and that's okay. Like that. Ha! We did it. Okay. There's a farming strat here. I actually switched to piano for it. But basically you want to unmorph just as you're coming down off this ledge. Like this. Oh, come on. Like that. And then you want to hold angle down, and you want to shoot just after running forward. Not while stationary, but also not while not after you've run forward too far. If you time it right, you'll hit the bug, and it'll drop a spawn for you. It'll spawn a drop. You'll get ammo or health or something, and it's definitely worth it. But if you take too long, then it's gonna bonk. If you do shoot the door first, like Cutie's mentioning, that is easier, but you have to wait for the drop. Either way, you want to hold a shot coming into the next room. And the way that I avoid pseudo screwing and screwing that up is just holding L the entire time. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up spin jumping, and then you're not gonna have a charge going into the next room. Kano, you are just asking to be timed out again, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. That never happened. That situation never happened. Also, make sure that you don't jump too early or you're gonna miss this drop. Okay. So we're getting like 12:04. That's not a completely accurate room time. Maybe it is. But if you shoot the door first, pause, it's gonna save you or cost you like 15 to 20 frames, I think. So yeah, that's how to get that bug farm optimally. There are a few different things you can do in here. The fastest thing is to release your charge shot, immediately jump into a spin, turn around, stay stationary, and the Waiver will come and hit you, and then you just do damage boost. You don't want to like try and meet the Waiver, because then this is the sort of thing that's going to happen over and over. So it's best if you just turn around and like pause, you know, for a couple frames. The Waiver will make its way into you, and then after you take damage, you do the boost. And then you just run through. You can also farm in here if you need to. You release charge and use 3 missiles, jump over the Waiver. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably faster too. Oops. Just one to start. Okay, yeah. Waiver, you cut it out, okay? I am trying to show people how to do stuff here. I'm being really bad at it, but I'm trying at least. Cool. So, yeah. If you're low on health, that's a good thing to do. Or if you like want to try and get more super missiles that way. Alternatively, you can just power bomb. You can just basically like say that you're like super low on everything and you're not confident in that farming strat. You can just select power bombs here and roll through and use one down here. It's really slow, but it kills everything. So you just go and you collect stuff and then you go on through. Yeah, that's that room. Again, the fastest thing to do, damage boost here, open the door. And then you want to shoot as you're coming into the door. You can also hold shoot coming out of the door, but either way, you just want to keep holding dash and run through. All right, bowling. This won't take very long to explain, but the bigger part of explaining it is understanding how damage boosts work. And I think I've explained that in a couple of other spots. Like I think I kind of explained it in Hellway, and I think I explained it in my general movement, etc., etc. But the main thing is you want to get forward damage boosts here. And what I mean by that is if you hold forward when you get a damage, a knockback, Samus is going to boost downward. Now what that looks like here is that she's just slightly sliding back on the floor. But the reason for that is because the game is trying to push her downward and she can't go any further down. So it just applies that automatic backward damage boost. The reason we want to do that is because that allows us to quickly land and start running again, which gives us more run speed, which allows us to get further in the room faster. But you also can just hold forward the entire time and just do late jumps and you'll be fine, okay? you don't have to do the damage boost. The one thing that you want to avoid are damage boosts like this. Not because you can't still survive, because you totally can. But if you screw it up, there's not much time. Well, and especially if you like miss it. See, we had to take 3 there. Because we missed the boost. But either way, you don't have very much time after landing if you do these high damage boosts before you have to jump again and do another damage boost. And you don't have very much run speed there. So it can spell certain death. So the best thing to do here is when you're taking your damage on the spikes, make sure that you are holding a direction, okay? You don't want to get damaged on these spikes with a neutral D-pad, because that's going to boost Samus upward, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid. So either damage yourself just holding right the entire time and take the slower strat, or when you turn around to try and get the damage boost, focus on holding left before you push right. It's okay if you don't like push right immediately. You're still going to be better off than doing a higher boost like that. The one thing that you do want to avoid is a buffer jump like that. So don't hold left for like way too long. Basically, if Samus starts running to the left, you're holding left for too long. Okay? So you don't want to see that. You don't want to see Samus start running to the left. But other than that, okay, no. Other than that, really, it's just a matter of running to the right and arm pumping. Okay. And yeah, if you want to watch that clip that Kano posted, you'll see that these spikes, their actual hitbox is kind of deceiving. It's not the top of this spike, like where it pokes out. It's further down below. So. See, that would have been bad because I didn't jump early enough. If you do the room well enough, you can morph straight into the statue, like this. And if you position it well enough, you can actually get kind of this weird like magnet grab, where the statue's hand like pulls you into it. It's really cool. So. And then you get to sit here and wait for the statue to carry you through the spikes. You can go make yourself a sandwich or something. Not really, but it does take a while. Here, I just hold left, and then I unmorph with jump. Oh, you can hold shoot too. You want to time your jump off this crumble block. It's better if you don't fall through it. But it's not like exact. I think I mentioned this before, but if you press jump before Samus lands, like a few frames before Samus lands, she'll automatically jump when she lands. So you can actually use that to your advantage on this block. Frame window. And then you just want to hold shoot and run straight through gravity. That's what you want to do there. I like how I did it the first time. I was like, wonder if I can show that. And then I do it. If I remember correctly, that's frame perfect, and it will end your run. Not literally, like, you're not forced to end your run, but if you... It's called gravity skip. I feel like I have to do it now. Yes, I have. Once. Only once. There you go. Gravity skip. 6 strap, bro. Let's go. We just saved so much time. Oh, shoot. Oh, we needed that. So yeah, just watch out for gravity skip. Really, it's not hard to avoid. It's not going to happen unless you shoot, like I said, it's like frame perfect. So, as long, you know what I've started doing actually to avoid it? I just let go of left right here. Like, I shoot the door, and then I just let go of left. And it's actually pretty often that I'll like stop in the middle of gravity, and that's where I collect it. See? I just let go of left, and that way you'll grab it, and you'll be good. And then coming out of this room, you want to do a little door check here. So that's wrecked ship. I feel like that's probably good for today, honestly. By the way, thank you so much, QD, for your all your input. It was really valuable. Well, you have a better time than I do. So even if I disagree with something that you say, it's your opinion's still definitely valuable, so thank you. Definitely. Definitely. Alright. Cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna try and burn through this a lot faster than I did for RBO. Because we've got at least a couple people invested that are wanting to learn this and get going, so I'm gonna try and do at least one segment a night, but if I'm feeling burnt out, then I might take a night off or whatever. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I love you, and you guys are great. Let's find somebody to host.